Hey, Tony here. Why did we stop going to the moon? This week on Space but Messier. First, let's get some context. According to the Smithsonian, the Apollo program, planned from 1967 to 1972, was designed to land humans on the moon and bring them safely back to Earth. 6 of the missions, Apollos 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, and 17, achieved this goal. These 6 missions returned a ton of scientific data and almost 400 kilograms or 880 pounds of lunar samples. Experiments up there included soil mechanics, seismic studies, heat flow, magnetic fields, and solar wind experiments. So why was it canceled? It was canceled for many reasons, including the retiring of the Saturn V rocket, the high expenses to Congress, the Vietnam War was in full swing, and the opposition of the American public. An editorial in the Los Angeles Sentinel argued against Apollo, saying, "It would appear that the fathers of our nation would allow a few thousand hungry people to die for the lack of a few $1,000s, while they would contaminate the moon and its sterility for the sake of progress and spend billions of dollars in the process while people are hungry, ill-clothed, and poorly educated, if at all." Moving on, the Space Shuttle, planned to run between 1981 and 2011, was a semi-reusable shuttle that brought payloads to low Earth orbit. On over 135 launches, it only had 2 failures, the notable Challenger and Columbia launches. Rest in peace. It brought projects to space such as the Hubble Space Telescope and components to build the ISS, or the International Space Station. Then, as it was planned to retire, we thought we were in good hands in regards to going back to the moon because we had Constellation. The Constellation program was planned from 2005 to 2025. The goals of Constellation were to finish the International Space Station, go back to the moon with a permanent presence, and to eventually go to Mars. This would be done with the building of a new rocket and crew module, Ares and Orion. So on January 14, 2004, President George W. Bush requested that NASA develop a plan for continued manned space exploration after the completion of the ISS, and for the retirement of the Space Shuttle program in 2010. This proposal was to be a way to establish an extended human presence on the moon to vastly reduce the costs of further space exploration. Included in this would be harvesting and processing of lunar soil into rocket fuel or breathable air. Pretty cool. According to Bush, experience gained could help develop and test new approaches for technologies and systems to begin a sustainable course of long-term exploration. He basically wanted to cancel the shuttle program so we can afford to go back to the moon. Then, when Obama took office, he decided that Constellation was over budget, behind schedule, and lacking in innovation. And he simply didn't include it in the 2011 budget. He just totally left it out, completely canceling the Constellation program and our best chance at getting back to the moon. After that, Obama tasked NASA with building a brand new heavy rocket to replace the Saturn V called the Space Launch System, or SLS, to eventually take us to Mars. Now, let's compare budgets. NASA's budget in 1966 was $5.9 billion, or 4.41% of the United States total budget. That's like $46.7 billion today. 46.7. Today, NASA's budget is $21.5 billion, but it's less than 0.5% of the United States total budget. It's like half of what we were getting back then. It sure shows how our priorities have shifted. So, why did we leave the moon? According to NASA, we never did. NASA has sent more than 500 Apollo lunar samples in recent years to scientists around the world for ongoing analysis. Each year, a handful of new scientific papers offer insights and updates to what we've learned about the moon from these samples. Robotic missions such as LCROSS and the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter continue to add to our scientific knowledge about the moon. So, are we physically going back? Find out next time on Space but Messier. See ya.